Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Welcome back to Rebellion Reborn, a segment of Primatech Files, which of course is a Southgate Media Group podcast dedicated to all things Heroes Prime and Heroes Reborn related things. I am Lilith, and on the hunt for those damn twins is...
It's me, Ricky.
Up for discussion today is episode... What number are we on? 8? Really already? June 13th, part 2? Which was even more awesome than part 1. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about the ratings. It got an uptick in the ratings. It was a 1.3 in the demo, and it had 3,980,000 people watching. There's still hope, guys.
Yeah.
I want you guys to do your part. If you're in America, please watch it on the app, watch it on the web browser, watch it on your DVR with commercials. And I really hate to encourage this, but even if you're not in America, you can still watch it on the web browser. You can Google schmoogle how to do all that, but we need every single view counts at this point.
Definitely. And I think it's kind of evening out after these past 2 episodes. Like, it's been slowly ratings have slowly been going down, but that's to be expected from, most premieres. Like, hardly any shows carry on, like, keep their premiere ratings. Most of them go down. It's only a couple which kind of tick up, like Empire, I think, is a big one. But, like, nearing the 4 for the past 2 episodes is really good. So let's try and keep it that way, Primatech peeps / Rebel Rousers.
And definitely, if you're live tweeting, always use the hashtag Heroes Reborn.
Definitely, yeah.
Because that actually counts a little bit too, more and more each year.
Yes.
So anyway, let's see. So Alan R. Kush directed this episode, and M. Raven Metzner wrote this one.
Yes.
So what about that?
Noah shoots Erica in the leg, or spot, whichever one, due to a past self's intervention, and Quentin stumbles upon the scene, pulling Erica out of the way to interrogate her about Phoebe. When Hiro and Angela are stuck in Odessa in 1999, Angela realizes that Nathan has inherited the Petrelli ability to absorb other powers, taking them first taking them first from Claire, and now Hiro. She decides the children must be raised separately. Noah tells his past self about Claire and asks Caspar to erase his memories. Harris captures past Noah and Caspar, and Parkman, now working for Erica, interrogates Noah, but Caspar intervenes before he can discover the location of the children, erasing Noah's memories and overpowering Harris.
I mean, straight up to the back of the head with a big sack of pennies.
Exactly. Matt lets the two go, and Caspar leaves Noah in the wreckage with no memory as planned. Meanwhile, Carlos becomes a war hero for the actions of his fellow soldier and love interest Farah, as she leaves for a job far away to hide her powers. When Hachiro Otomo realizes that Erica is using Hiro's disappearance to name him a co-conspirator in the bombing, he uses his power to bring Katana Girl to life as Miko, a backdoor to Evernow. Chasing Hiro's power, Molly and Noah find a much older Hiro, with Anne and Nathan having raised Nathan as his son. Luke and Joanne find Dennis's body, and Joanne kills an Evo for the first time, probably going to sleep directly afterwards whilst Luke pukes in the toilet.
Like a baby!
Nathan uses Hiro's power to take Noah to Angela, who warns of a catastrophe in Odessa beneath a clock tower at 11:53. That sounds familiar. And Back to the Future. Quentin is reunited with a brainwashed Phoebe. Nathan sends Noah back to his own time as Harris arrives at their house, and Hiro says goodbye to Nathan, Caspar, and Anne to hold off. Harris is Caspar takes Nathan's memory of Hiro so that he won't go back. In present day, Noah finds Quentin is still alive, yay, and tells him about the twins. But this Quentin,
Ooh.
but this Quentin is working for Erica, and he tells her the truth. No, Quentin.
Oh, Dark Quentin. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't do spoilers. I don't even do the previews unless Ricky blabs it out.
I wasn't even expecting it. It's not been said. Like, I expected him to come back to life because I've seen pictures of him in like rap photos, but I was not expecting him to be back like this. But as per usual, there will be a bit of theory crafting happening later on. So yes.
You know what the name of this episode should have been? Too Many Butterflies! So where do you want to start?
Let's start with everything outside of the quote-unquote plan. So, do you want to start with Farah and Carlos?
Sure. You were kind of right.
Yeah, I know. Kind of. So I called, or it, whichever one you want to take. Basically, Carlos took the quote-unquote fall for Farah. Farah basically saved their entire platoon or whatever, I believe it is, and he was the one who took credit for it. They've got a thing going on. Basically, he even says it himself. He was a coward at that time. Like, he basically hid behind a wall while she went off and saved everyone. She's obviously not saying anything because of the disaster that just happened. And she's taken an assignment from a quote-unquote company that she used to work for.
Dude, is she like one of those people from the comic? Now I feel like she's one of those people from the comic books.
I don't think she is. Maybe. No, because the only one that I can maybe... No, she's not.
Not Stern Woman either, but like just one of those people that worked for Angela, like in the background of that one episode, remember?
Mm. Or like there was that season 2 kind of arc where they brought lots of people in for the graphic novels whilst it was out. But no, I don't remember her name at all. So yeah, because usually they find a name or kind of a nickname to put on the Heroes Wiki and nothing's, there.
Oh, bummer. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Because Angela was up to things in those comic books and the webisodes.
It just ends with the best thing is when he kisses her and then she pushes him away and you can see him still like mid-kiss and then just slaps him in the face and tells him, he's got an honor that he doesn't deserve. Why doesn't he just live up to it? And I think that's very telling of where he is at this point. Like, obviously he's not living up to this kind of honor that he's been given, because he's just using it to bang randos and drink. And it's not really until he takes up the mantle that he starts to kind of start living up to it. So I don't know. That's obviously those words have some kind of resonance with him, especially when it comes to the suit. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like, what is it about flashback people and not knowing, to quote Vampire Diaries, Damon to be specific, hero hair? I mean, what do you have, a low flow shower head, dude? That was brutal.
Oh god. Yeah. It was just I didn't notice this. So yeah, maybe it's just me.
Baby Guzman. I was just like, aw.
It's the lack of beard, because obviously, in the time off, in the year off, he just, I'm kind of in turmoil now, so I must.
He was a hobo.
I must
drink
it. Because you've got Quentin, who's kind of the slacker. He's got a beard. You've got and now he's just drinking, so he just gets that permanent 3 o'clock shadow. He just gets the clippers, sets them to like 2, and that's it every day.
That's good enough.
But yeah, what did you think about this kind of revelation of Farah and Carlos? Do you think it kind of brings him back into the game, or do you think he's still kind of out on the peripheral?
He's definitely still out in the peripheral, but shout out to some brown love though, right?
I know, right?
I was like, I'm here for it. I was like, is that who I think it is next to Carlos?
What did you think about their chemistry, or if you think there is lack thereof? Do you think they, unlike the other kind of, interracial couple on the show, what do you think about Farah and Carlos? Are you there for them, or?
I'm here for it. Like, but it was like love-hate chemistry. It wasn't just like goofy eyes. So I'm here for that too, because that means the sex scene would have been. It's probably a deleted scene, honestly.
But yeah, I like the fact that Farah's going to be his way to come into the storyline, and obviously, I think we're going to meet her again because I've seen pictures of her from like like rap shoots and stuff like that. So she's obviously a big part. So I gonna theory craft, like I've said all along, she's in Sunstone Manor. That's where they meet again. And I've said that I've seen a picture of them two together, and I was just like, how did that kind of happen? So now we're kind of, it's starting to make its way into the furore. Just like I've been saying all along, just have a bit of patience and it will all pay off. I wasn't patient for that, and now it's paying off. So yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting, though. Did not see that coming, so kudos to Heroes.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's been a while since we've said that, apart from, like, the last episode. Like, especially in terms of Carlos, that's... Whew.
Right? After that rapey scene, I was just You're just gonna trust the Evo? Okay.
So next up, we have... Shall we just go to Hachiro and Miko?
Yes, please. Thank you.
We'll just start. I'll just go through the storyline really quickly. He realizes that he's been manipulated by Erica, obviously because, 2015, Hero was at the summit, and he was accounted for in, like, the list, or whatever you want to call it.
List.
Exactly. Take a drink. It's been a while. But yeah, he realizes that he's got Hero locked in the game, and he's kind of been locked out of the game, so he can't, like, release Hero. And I'm
like, first of all, your power. Second of all, you actually created the damn game. What the hell are you talking about?
I read that tweet whilst after the fact, and I kind of started thinking about it because they told us that Evernow is published by Renautas, so in my mind, Renautas actually kind of they've got like all, because it's an MMORPG, isn't it? Essentially, because that's how he gets so many people. Ren gets so many people watching. So obviously, it's on their servers, and they can, even though he created the game, they still have control.
You always leave a back door. Like even without Miko, he should have had the back door. So I'm just like, do you guys not know? You do not know one single programmer in your whole life?
No. So yeah, I would have done exactly the same thing. But yeah, he creates his back door. Oh, that sounds so weird. And it's Miko.
With the girl involved.
Exactly. And Miko is essentially tasked with the mission to kind of save Hero without really saying it. And he's planning to teach her more about modern day life. And it's weird because obviously, he only gets like maybe 1 or 2 hours, maybe half a day with her before Harris comes and takes him away. And that kind of explains why she's a shell of a person when we meet her in a year's time, because she's literally just been waiting. She's been waiting for her father to get back. And, it's that typical friggin' Hero's kind of parent issue story. Dad one day went to like
he went to get cigarettes and never came home.
Exactly. And the only thing that she's left with is that the sword is the key, but she has no idea what that means. So yeah.
Harris just shows up like a boss. Excuse me, sir, I'm gonna need you to come with me.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even like he forces his way in, kicks down the door, takes him by the neck with a gun to his head. He just knocks on the door, waits, Hachiro comes out, and then walks off with him. Come on, Cloney. You the man. So yeah.
Oh, we have to get Clee Bennett. Guys. If you want Clee Bennett on the podcast, you say, hey, Clee Bennett, you should be on the Primatech Files podcast.
Exactly. What did you think about the whole storyline here, giving a bit of context to Miko?
Anything to bring back Kiki, so was here for it. Bummed we didn't get a little bit of Toro, but I can't be greedy.
Yeah. They came up with an interesting kind of, not theory, but like a parallel to it, which I'll bring up in the inside of the eclipse. So yeah, we'll talk about that then. So yeah.
Is it Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Of course.
I liked it.
But he got to be a real boy, but because she's a girl, she couldn't be a real girl.
Exactly.
Misogyny! And that was my rant of the day.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to the Collins eyes, I guess.
Yes, let's talk about the Collinses.
The Collins eyes.
Dennis is dead for real.
Yeah.
Boo! How dare you, Heroes Reborn?
Well, let's be fair. They're flipping the script here because it's not like parent issues for once. It's children.
No, they were neglectful. Come on, you're humans and you're around all these Evos that you don't know what their powers are capable of. I'm just saying. Be a Jewish parent. It's okay. Like it's like frowned upon to be a hover parent, but in cases like that, be a hover parent.
Especially with your child the way he is, like with this kind of sun disease type thing. So yeah, you've got to. But we'll start from the beginning. I think they put the photo on the wall, and that's when the start of the quote-unquote hate happens, because someone's like, if your kid's one of them, put it on that wall. And, they've got the word like freak and Evo and all that kind of that kind of stuff, sorry. And Luke is just like, our son is normal. And it's like, well, he is normal, but not really. But yeah, anyway, they find dead Dennis. He's dead. And he did. Zach does his best, holding back the tears while Judith looks at him. And they go back to the hotel, get Mick the ice cream man, or ice dude, whatever his name is. I think it's Mick. He turns up, and I think Luke kind of just unravels in front of us. He just says, she asks why he was saving this guy instead of looking for a son, and he's like, look, he basically says, he's saying that he's a hero. He came across this guy, he had to try and help him, so he helped him, and that's maybe one of the reasons why he didn't find Dennis in time. He kind of brings forward that, she wants him to say, does he feel guilty for, bringing Dennis to Odessa in the first place to try and find a cure? And I think that's very telling of why he kind of sticks around with her, and why their kind of chemistry, or lack thereof, isn't present, because he's not all there. He's only with her because he feels guilt, and she's only with him because, she needs a partner to kill Evos with and
clean up her mess. Yeah. Exactly.
But what did you see towards about this, the killing of Mick? Because I saw a lot of people saying, it wasn't like they went out of their way to kind of start killing Evos. The first one wasn't an accident, but it was around. It
was Sylar.
It was self-defense. The first one.
It was straight up. Yeah. It reminded me of Sylar, and I go, okay, new plan. Sylar is secretly really freaky. Just
But yeah, and that makes sense with, Luke telling Dennis that he was special all the time. That's why she didn't like it. Yeah. No.
Like, dude, if that actually happened, Sylar got trapped in a human female body without his powers.
Yeah, exactly. As a woman, and had to give birth. But yeah, I'm gonna go with it. The first kind of shot was self-defense. The first stab was self-defense. But the next 100 were not. That was just pure vengeance. And, Luke straight away just goes, you had to do it, But she didn't. She didn't. She had to do one. She didn't have to stab the guy in the neck. She could have stabbed him in the back. So, yeah. And I just finished off my notes with time for her to sleep soundly and him to puke up in the toilet. But I did like her in this episode. She went through kind of those stages of grief. She was in denial. She went through bargaining, then obviously she went to straight up anger, and then acceptance, but it wasn't really acceptance, it was just another part of anger. So yeah, I quite enjoyed her performance in this episode, so yeah.
Man, I'm just saying, we could have done without Collins's. I'm just saying.
We need something to break up the plan, basically. That's why Carlos's story was in there. Otherwise, it would just be a lot of, not exposition, but explaining the plan and bringing everything back. You need kind of time to breathe. And I appreciated the storylines because even though they were time to breathe moments, they still gave us more answers to the kind of people that we don't really not necessarily know that much about, like Carlos. And it gave us background into the Collins and why they end up where they end up. So yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine with, because he's basically this show's version of Matt. He's an everyday man who's lost his way, and he's just trying to find redemption in any way that he can.
Yeah.
And instead of it being for his son, it's for his brother and his nephew. So yeah. I'm okay with Carlos, but man, the Collinses just bring me down. That's potty break time, dude.
Okay, so we'll move on to let's just move on to 2014 Noah, because even though he's kind of part of the plan, he's still got his own little side mission at this point. And yeah, so starts off with him stopping his future self, but he ends up getting taken by the Harasai, and Parkman walks in the door. I kind of like what he says. He says, I'm tired of getting stepped on, people taking advantage of me. I've got a family to look after. I sold my ability to the highest bidder. It kind of shows, it's very 5 years forward, 5 years gone kind of Matt Parkman. I kind of liked it. But at the end of the day, after everything that they've said during the kind of interviews about their first meeting, I was expecting a lot more. How about you?
I know, right? I was like, you're going to give me 5 minutes of Grundy? Really? How dare you?
Exactly. And future, in my mind, 2014 Noah was speaking in Japanese. Trying to,
Exactly.
that's what, no, in my mind, he was speaking in Japanese. That's why he was trying to, that's why he was giving everything away, because he was thinking it all in Japanese. But Parkman had learnt from the last time and taken up Japanese lessons just in case something like this happened. But yeah, that's just me really stretching. But
I think they forgot about it.
yeah. All of a sudden, a penny rolls in. Man, seriously, Caspar has some skills with a penny. That comes in. He steps on it, forgets, and
Through the shoe.
I know, right?
Through the shoe.
Parkman can't do anything because obviously he doesn't know anything. The only things that kind of get revealed is that Claire died. She's in Odessa and she died during childbirth. So they start asking, where is the baby? Which we know, that's something that will carry on throughout the rest of the forgotten year of 2014 to 2015, them looking for the baby. Caspar saves him like a boss with a leather briefcase full of pennies.
It was my favorite moment, I'm not even gonna lie.
And I also like the fact that they kind of not explain, but you kind of get how his power works now. He passes them a penny, they touch it, and then that takes away their memories. So yeah, and then Parkman randomly lets them leave. So yeah,
because he can't be a bad. We can't spend 5 minutes with Matt and then still leave and he's the bad guy.
Yeah, but I was really looking forward to this scene, and I thought it was going to be a lot better than I was expecting, and it kind of let me down, if I'm being honest.
Grunberg deserved a little better.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, it will get redeemed in the next couple of episodes, because we're probably going to find 2015 Grunberg, hopefully a bit salt and peppery, like in 5 Years Gone.
Yes, here for that.
Definitely. Cool. So, Erica and Quentin?
Right? So, damn it, Noah!
So, we'll talk about the kind of timeline shift, because we'll talk about that later, because I thought... No, we'll just talk about that later, because I've got so many questions about it, and I think whenever you're dealing with time travel, timey-wimey shenanigans, it's always... You're never going to have a real answer. Because you can't really talk to the writer's room unless you're lucky enough to kind of get them on your podcast. I'm talking to you, Joey Falco, or Zach Crayley. But yeah, you're never really going to get an answer. So I've got my reasoning of what happens, but we'll get into that during the quote-unquote plan. But let's go on to Erica and Quentin. Erica's doing her best to make Evo's the scapegoat, but still at the same time kind of keep Renautas in the good books. So it seems like this is the shift between Primatech. So she's kind of washing away the Primatech name and pushing Renautas into the forefront. And she blames Mahinda for the Arctic team dying.
Shapeshifter?
Shapeshifter has to be. And I had a theory about Quentin and a shapeshifter, but then something else I during a rewatch I saw kind of told me maybe not. But yes, so Quentin arrives. He quote unquote wants to seems like he wants to capture Erica. I also at this point am asking myself, where's Ali at this point, because she was in the webisodes at that point as well, from Dark Matters. But yeah, once again, Erica does her best Angela Petrelli imitation and uses manipulation in order to make Quentin help her. And she ends up...
I'm sorry, but I can't believe you fell for it. Dude, no offense to Erica. She is no Angela. I just don't get it.
She is. I think she's got a way about her. She has a lot of people under her thumb. Just accept it, Lilith. I know you love the Mama Petrelli, Grandmama Petrelli, but...
Great Grandmama.
Exactly. We got a new bitch in town, and her name's Erica. And, yeah. So, yeah. And then she's on a hospital bed. She's figuring out that there's actually 2 heroes and 2 HRGs at this point. She sends Harris to kind of collect Otomo and Hero, find out where the baby is. She manipulated Phoebe into thinking she was doing the right thing. And I actually had to watch the Frady Cat reunion, because I had to rewatch it, and then I had to rewatch their first kind of encounter, because the words that were said were very similar, and I was wondering if they were using exactly the same lines, only in a different context, but they weren't, apart from the fact that she's helping her and she's giving her a purpose. But yeah, Quentin realizes what she's done. He realizes that, he's figured it all out. He knows, that Erica has used a shapeshifter in order to kind of use and kind of to have Mohinder be the scapegoat. He's figured out that, he used Phoebe's powers to like block out the sun. We get the little Freddy Cat reunion. Yeah, that's it. Then we move on to the future where, he's back, he's alive, but we get Dark Quentin. But what I wanted to bring up was, I thought that this kind of it always happened. But when you watch the end, when he makes the phone call, you see Erica has a cane.
With the cane, yeah.
So obviously, everyone's saying, HRG has stepped on like too many butterflies, and it's true. He has changed the future.
But then how would that affect his relationship? How would it, you know what I mean? Like, how did him and Quentin still end up at that same place, basically? That's the question, really.
My mind is thinking he's been a double agent since 2014. So it kind of, I don't know if it makes the web. I kind of don't want to make it mean that the webisodes are like moot and null and void, but it kind of seems that way. So yeah.
Because basically we're dealing with the alternate timeline anyway.
Yeah. So that's all I can think of. But they were the best bit. Anyway.
Yes, they really were. Anyway, so about that plan.
Let's start off with the Angela and Hero going back in time. So they end up at Odessa in 1999, and we start to figure out why Claire died. And Angela comes up with the theory that it's a Petrelli boy, and it kind of makes sense at that point.
They're all leeches.
Yes. And, it's only really the boys, because you had Arthur Petrelli, great-granddad, you had Uncle Peter Petrelli, it skipped a generation with Claire, because, she's a girl, and Tommy/Nathan has the powers, and he can only take powers one at a time, much like...
Synthetic.
Yes. But also...
I was pissed about that. Like, he just straight up stole it.
Yeah.
And, like, not, like, just borrowed it and the other person was fine. So I felt like that was a plot device. But I was like, can't we just go find Matt Parkman Jr.? Yeah.
But Hero kind of knew he had to kind of keep his way out of... He had to keep not only himself, but he had to keep Tommy/Nathan out of the way. And let's break this down. In 1999, Hero/Tommy/Anne, they were all in Odessa the whole time. Like, they were in Odessa for the whole of, and volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They were there, just in the suburbs, bringing up Nathan. Yeah, exactly. But I kind of like the fact that, even though Nathan is kind of power absorber, his powers, at the moment, he's not using the powers exactly how the other person does. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Hero is able to stop time just by closing his eyes, whereas, Nathan has to be touching people or touching himself. Really weird. Anyway, but yeah, Hero is left holding the baby whilst Angela goes off.
In a bag of poop.
Yes. Whilst Angela is more than likely going off to Geneva.
Making her way to Geneva, yeah. Exactly. She's like, ta-ta for now, bitches!
Exactly. And that's it. Then we go on to the plan, but I'll go to the end of the plan, which has Hero 2015 Old Man Hero sending Nathan away with Caspar and his mom. And I like the fact that he doesn't look at them when they disappear. He turns his back and just says, go. They disappear. And he kind of goes out in a blaze of glory. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know what happens. I know that he's only contracted to 3 episodes. So this must be the end. Not the end of Hero, but this is the last we're going to see of him.
Yeah. Massey basically said that he was just passing the torch. So,
yeah.
But if they kill Hero, that's going to be way worse than anything they ever did with Molly. So I think that, we already have all those other heroes too around. So, they can get back without, like, the huge fan backlash.
Yeah, and also he literally is passing on the torch. He's passing the power on to Tommy.
He was speaking Japanese. It was so cute.
Yes.
And then he sees his grandpa and they're speaking Japanese. I was like, oh my God. Love it.
But yeah, I'm fine with Hero going out in a blaze of glory. I've been waiting 15 years for this. Done, fade to black, and they haven't said that he's dead. They haven't said he's alive, so he can come back, or they could reference him being dead off screen like Claire. Anyway, let's go on to the plan. The plan, finally. It starts off with Noah saying, screw the plan, I'm going to step on a butterfly. And
the biggest one.
Yep, and 2014 stops him, and they end up having a conversation with each other, and then the plan starts coming together. The plan is, obviously, it all involves kind of the Noahs, Caspar, Molly, and later on, Hero and Angela.
Oh, hey, we got Molly's power even more fleshed out.
Yes. Yeah, she finds people via their power, apparently. What did you think about that?
Wasn't what they said.
Yeah.
She said she could just think of a person.
Yes.
She only needed a picture, like with Maya's brother, to figure out he was dead. I'm just saying, as a fan, you might want to double check things.
I know,
like,
right?
It was still pretty cool, but it was definitely a MacGuffin. I'm just saying.
I think I was having a conversation with someone on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but I said that, she would only ever find people with powers. Like, that's what she's always done. But then they reminded me that they found, like, Mohinder's mirror or something like that. You remember his girlfriend, and as far as we know, she doesn't have a power. And
I think she could just find people.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a retcon.
She said anybody. Yeah, it's a retcon. It's fine though. It's fine though. She goes, and she asked for a head start to go tell Mohinder's mom the truth. Yeah. I'm like, she's still alive.
I know. But I thought it was a nice touch, especially with the graphic novels, because she went to go live with Mohinder's mother. But yeah.
The weird thing about Molly and having to be on the run and stuff is that Mohinder's family came from money.
Yeah, but maybe in that year out, she used all the money traveling around. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Neglectful parents on heroes.
Exactly. So Cloney McGinty ends up seeing that the plan is starting to come together. He hasn't heard anything, but he's ready to cut off his finger in order to kind of follow them splitting. But this also this is the beginnings of something that I don't think many people saw, but the timeline has changed, and it started here with Caspar being the one to erase Noah's memory, not the Haitian, because it's always been said, right? Or am I wrong? Like, it's always been said.
They never really said it.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, they never really said that just that the Haitian was privy to the plan.
Okay.
And we haven't really seen that come to fruition, so it's just like, but with Harris eavesdropping and all that other stuff, do you know what I mean? It totally didn't seem like it, because he follows them to the house, and that's how that whole thing happened. We are witnessing the literal point where the timeline changed. And of course, it's Tony McGinty. Yeah.
It also, like, kind of makes me but question what happened at the beginning of the season with HRG going to find the Haitian. So, but at the end of the day, he knows if he's forgotten his memory, everything of the day, then he would initially go to the Haitian, because that's what he does. But then again, was partners with Caspar, so why wouldn't he go to Caspar? Oh, too many questions.
Well, because he's known the Haitian longer, though, when you think about it. I mean, he's basically known him since he was a little boy per, original heroes.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But then also, when the Haitian starts to kill him, he says, "You told me to kill you if you ever came to find me," or something. Hopefully we get some kind of explanation to that.
Isn't Jimmy Jean-Luc supposed to be back?
He is, so maybe he didn't die in this new timeline. So yeah. Anyway, HRG takes Molly to find Hero, and we get old man MFing Hero. Loved it.
The red door. Finally, the red door shows up.
I think something else to bring up is that in the car journey on the way there, Molly is blatantly adamant that Mohinder didn't do it. So yeah, your little house of M is still there, even though they're not together. Old Man Hero tells Noah off, because obviously he made changes to the future in trying to shoot Erica, and the Harris have started following, so they don't know that they're looking for Tommy, they just know they're looking for a baby, so they go in, try and use Tommy to kind of get to HRG, and yeah, Tommy and HRG kind of know each other already, and a look is enough for them to know what to do. So yeah.
Why didn't he just teleport him into a volcano, though? We could have just been done with it.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's
just
not as badass as just like turning around and shooting him, but yeah. So yeah, they go to Angela to try and work out the quote-unquote plan, and we end up meeting great-grandmama Petrelli.
And Captain Planet, aka Malina.
Exactly.
Messing with the bees.
Grey hair, don't care. She initially says, "I had a dream about an old wolf wearing a crown of thorns. Who else should I expect?" And so, yeah, even though, she's great grandmama, she's still the one who is calling all the shots. She's like, no, Tommy, you can't meet Malina yet because you might take her power. And we kind of bring up the fact that HRG has kind of tried to shoot Erica, which kind of has given up, changed the plans. She brings up that Nathan I'm going to keep on going back and forth between Tommy and Nathan, but Nathan really is like Peter because, he will blindly go into being a hero, which isn't that...
That was a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, exactly. She brings up that, she's been having dreams about... the poles will shift and that will change flight patterns. That's why you'll see butterflies in the North Pole and the Northern Lights will be more further south.
Dude, it freaked me out because that happened in real life recently, at least in America.
Okay.
I was just like, we got a HELE, and they're not telling us. The Heroes and Reborn is trying to give us a heads up.
HRG says that that's already started to happen, and we get the photo of Tommy is taken for, them to pass on to Farah to give to her.
It was Peter all along. We were
right?
That it was a picture of Peter.
Yes, and then the plan kind of happens, and it's Caspar is in charge of watching Nathan. Molly is watching both of the kids, quote unquote, remotely. And obviously, she says, and HRG says, be careful, they're going to want you because of your power. And she says, trust me, I'd rather die than give up my powers. And kind of HRG has a little tear in his eye and gives her a hug because he knows that will come to fruition.
Yeah, I thought that was nice.
Yes, and Tommy teleports Molly over to Chennai. Yeah, and puts HRG back to 2015. The Harasai come. He teleports the rest of them out, not before having a conversation about manga. And yes. Oh yes, the serious Yatar. Yeah, they teleport out, and he says he's going to go back to see his father, to save his father, and Caspar erases his memory, everything apart from Anne. And that kind of gives us more meaning to why Anne said she didn't want to tell him about her father, because she knew that he would go and try and save him, because that's what he tried to do initially. And yeah, HRG ends up in 2015. Quentin's still alive, working for Erica, and we have Dark Quentin.
And our hearts break.
Yes, and just on a side note, Farah comes to Angela, and she's given her the mission to kind of look after Malina, and says, you have to bring the twins together in Odessa on a certain date at 11:15 by a clock tower. But she also says there's something she hasn't told Malina, and that's kind of an offhanded comment. But for me, Melina's gonna die. You heard it here first.
I mean, she is the girl, so I wouldn't doubt it.
Or Tommy gets his memories back and learns to take more than one power at a time, takes a power, and that's how she dies. Yeah. And he takes everyone's powers and he becomes a super bad guy. Yeah!
And then him and Micah hook up.
So yeah, that is the very end of the show. I am not watching it anymore. So yeah, no, I'm joking. Yeah.
I'm like, Ricky, don't even try it.
So yeah.
You wrote me into this. We're going to see it to the end, damn it.
Review.
Okay, who was your favorite character?
I'm going to go with Tommy / Nathan. I liked kind of confident Tommy. He does have those kind of hints of Peter, which kind of annoy me, but at the same time, just him using his power, it's a nice mix of like Peter, Claire, and Hero all wrapped into one. So yeah, how about you?
I'm gonna go with two. I love Caspar, and I love gray hair, no care, Angela.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Caspar was really good in this episode, and so was Angela. Even though, they've only given her like a little bit to work with, whatever she does do is so good. So yeah.
Yeah, Christine Rose chews the scenery like no other.
Exactly. So, character interaction.
Obviously, HRG and Nathan / Tommy, when he goes, is that him? Is that my grandfather? I was just like, oh my God.
I also like the interaction between Hero and Tommy. It's a very nice father-son relationship. He's very stern with him, but at the same time he's very playful. Like, here's a manga, it told of my future, it might tell of yours one day, which kind of
freaking did.
came into fruition, and then he's just like, go gold, like turning his back on him. And yeah, I really liked seeing.
And that's why he's collecting all the Ninth Wonders in the pilot, in the premiere.
Exactly. I love that how everything's kind of linking together. I also love, I like the fact that Hero's kind of got what he's kind of always wanted. He's always wanted to like settle down and have a family, and all it took was his surrogate son taking away his powers for that to happen. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of actually important to discuss, because Hero, I mean, would want to keep trying to be a hero as long as he had powers and not a solid, defined mission. Do you know what I mean? Just a series of side quests, but this was like the long-term haul kind of thing.
But I also think...
So I really appreciate that.
I also think the fact that he doesn't have powers, but he still has this mission to kind of protect and bring up this boy to kind of save the world, kind of gives him like that mentor thing that he's kind of always wanted. Like he kind of tried it with Ando, but you know, they were they were friends, so you know, he didn't kind of get that respect. Whereas, you know, you're bringing up a child as your own, they're gonna respect you, hopefully. Well, it happened anyway, so yeah. But also, he knows that, you know, he can't go out and kind of be a hero at this point, because this child is more important to the overall story of the world being saved. So he got his child. It's like he retired, and in his mind, retiring was a good thing, because at the end of the day, he had this legacy which was going to carry on in Tommy. So yeah. Wow.
So anyway, favorite scene?
I'm going to go with... No, I don't even know. There were so many good. I like the plan kind of coming together with Angela and HRG and Tommy. I also like the little scene of Hero saying goodbye to Tommy and Anne. Yeah, how about you?
Oh man, of course I love the end, because that was a mind frag.
Yeah.
I was like, no, not Dark Quentin. I love the Freddy Cat reunion, because that's the one we actually deserved, a happy one.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, in a weird, sick, twisted way. And yeah, I like the goodbye scene too. No, I like when they realize who Anne is, and he's like, guess it was fate.
But
it's like, yeah, she doesn't have anime eyes.
But yeah, sorry, the fact that, not the fact that he sought her out made sense, but the fact that she gave Tommy to him in the previous episode makes sense, because she's at home with his old man self. So, you know, she's like basically just saying, this is yours, you're going to come back and meet me. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, anyway, do you have any favourite lines?
Oh, just the guitar, really.
Yeah.
It was like...
Most of mine were just like, they're not like really stick out lines, but they're just like so descriptive. I love them, like, you know, the old wolf wearing a crown of thorns, in description of Noah, and Angela's vision of what's happening is just like fire raining down, blood everywhere, and the twins saving the world under a clock tower in Odessa, its hand stuck at 11:53, which is obviously a big Easter egg to many things in popular culture. So yes.
Oh, Angela, when he goes, you're pretty young for a great grandmother, and then Angela's like, pretty big for a 1-year-old.
Yeah. Petrelli banter. What did you think about the fact that, you know, they kept on mentioning that he's a Petrelli when, you know, obviously Malina's a Petrelli, or are they just saying, you know, they got Tommy's more the Petrelli side, whereas Malina's more the Bennett side, that side of the family. What do you think about that?
Yeah, right? Like, it's all about Tommy, and it's weird. I'm just misogyny. I'm just saying.
I kind of hope,
even though she has the power to literally heal the earth, Mother Earth, and all that stuff, and all he can do is steal powers and be a leech.
I kind of hope that it kind of pays off in the future, in the fact that, you know, it's that kind of red herring where they're pushing all the destiny onto like him. But she's the one who's going to save the world. It's not going to be him. He's just a little side plot into it. Do you know what I'm saying? I really hope it's going to be a red herring.
It's heroes and misogyny. I mean, I don't even think that it's intentional, but the writer's room is filled with men, and so it's a lot of self-projection and self-insertion as a writer. It just naturally happens. So I'm not, like, really being serious about it, but, like, I could totally just see, like, Malina just being a woman in a refrigerator and dying, and Tommy getting, like, thrown on the shoulders and hip, hip, hooray for Tommy.
So, yeah, what about the grades?
I'm going to give this a straight-up A.
Yeah. Damn.
It was good. These last two episodes are so good, and I'm not just saying that because the old characters came back, but the plan actually kicked into high gear, and there were lots of little twists and turns that I didn't see coming. So kudos to Heroes Reborn for surprising me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with exactly the same reasoning. I'm going to give it an A as well, but I also like the fact that, it's kind of tying in everything from that's happened before, and it's answering all the questions, but it's still leaving you with questions to kind of to talk about in the next couple of episodes. Like, everyone for the whole kind of series has been, how does Claire die? How does Claire die? Everyone's like up in arms, like Claire can't die. She's indestructible. She's immortal. And the whole time we've been saying, they're going to pay it off. Don't worry. There's going to be a reasoning. And they brought it up and now everyone's like, oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I'm just like, well, if you had watched Heroes past season 2, you kind of would have known that this is kind of how the storytelling happens for most of the part. That's just me being high and mighty. Yeah.
Being a true Heroes fan from the beginning.
So, yeah.
Learning questions, world building, theory crafting.
So, Easter eggs. We have 12 brothers and sisters who helped Mohinder bring this.
Religion!
Not only religion, but 12 founders, which is always that kind of thing. You put in the tweets, change the compass, so I don't know if that had anything to do with the kind of compass from season 4. I put which baby...
magnetic poles and all that stuff. And I'm like, should we be finding Samuel?
Yes, exactly. Which quote-unquote baby will save the world? I think that's obviously, because they think that they're looking for a baby, which kind of comes back in episodes before with Harris asking, where's the baby? You had Greg Grunberg with, I guess I'm a company man now, which really shocked me because I thought they were going to be talking about the heavy artillery. But yeah, I liked the fact that, he kind of brought up company man.
I think got deleted.
Yeah, I think company man was what he was always, because he's been talking about, he improv'd a line and that kind of got left in. And yeah, I think that's the line that, he improv'd in. You've got the helix on, Hero's bolo of, where he keeps his little shoelace tie type thing. They bring up that Tommy has the same smile as Claire. We've got scissors leading to an untimely death.
Sylar, like I said.
Something that I don't know if anyone spotted, but Noah's wife, not Sandra, but his new wife.
Yep,
they met at the summit. Yep. 7 minutes to midnight, or 11:53, which is obviously an Easter egg to the episode 7 minutes to midnight in season 1, but also Watchmen. Yes, the sword is the key. Trust me, I'd rather die than give them up, which is what Molly says to HRG. Chennai, India, and Mohinder's mother. I don't know if this is an Easter egg, but Hero talks to Tommy and says, listen, Nathan, whenever you're dealing with time travel, you're always pinching the fabric of the space-time continuum, which kind of seems like something he would have said in previous episodes. So yeah, the Yatar. Yeah, okay, fair enough. The Yatar, Ninth Wonders, foretelling Hero's future. Will it foretell Nathan's? Of course it will. Save our son, save the world, and an Easter egg to the Wonder Twins.
Yes, I giggled.
So, world building. We have Mohinder tape claiming responsibility for this Odessa summit. Farah used to work for the company. Hero has always been in Odessa since 1999, looking for a baby, but they're actually teenagers. And they find out that it's twins at the end of it, so yeah. Theory crafting.
Hey, Claire to save my baby boy!
Right. Theory crafting. Initially, I wanted to think that wasn't Quentin. It was a shapeshifter, maybe the same shapeshifter they used for Mohinder, and that would kind of not make sense. But especially where Hero season 1 came in, they randomly brought in a shapeshifter or an illusion caster in like at the last minute to kind of tell stories. But I think it is Quentin. So yeah.
It's not another Candace.
No, I don't think it is. And then we have
Sylar. Has he been working for Renautas the whole time?
Exactly, yeah. And will Malina... I think Malina might die in the end. So, yeah.
Because when you only have a tagline of being brave, ethereal, and bold...
Yes. And it seems like you're the one who's going to save the world, yet you only have, like, maybe 5 minutes in like most of the episode, and one episode which actually has you meeting someone and mainly being about their story of redemption rather than you trying to save the world, then yeah, maybe. But she's on to bigger and brighter things.
Is she?
She's Tom Cruise's daughter in the new Jack Reacher film. So yeah, well done to her. Next up, we have burning questions, which is, did 2015 Noah change the timeline? I think it's safe to say that he did, because obviously Quentin is alive, and Erica has a cane, because she got shot in the butt. What a butt.
Why do you keep saying that?
What a butt. But yeah, obviously we believe that the Haitian was the one who wiped Noah, but here it was Caspar, so that kind of leads me to believe that the timeline has been changed and we might see the Haitian again. Another kind of question I want to ask is, back in like episode 1 or 2, Tommy/Nathan says that he was taken to a place when he was 7 years old. Did that actually happen? Or, you know, because I thought Hero would be able to look after him at this point. But
maybe they had to go to Primatech Files because at that time it was still Angela and Noah, and they were just trying to see his power.
Yeah, but that was
the old timeline.
That was not the old timeline, but that's Heroes Prime Angela and Noah. That's not Heroes Reborn Noah and Angela.
Or is it?
Oh,
He's like freaking Cisco from The Flash. He remembers stuff from other timelines. Boom.
Oh, maybe.
He's Vibe Jr.
He's Vibe before Vibe. No, he isn't, because Vibe has been around for longer. Anyway, what hasn't Angela told Malina, quote unquote, that she is going to die?
She's not really, she doesn't have the same dad as Tommy. Yeah. They're one of those kinds of things.
So the last question I have, which everyone is asking, and we have talked about numerous times, who is Claire's baby daddy? I'm going to give you a list of people who it could be. It could be West. It could be Alex.
It could be Woosley.
It could be Alex Woosley, because he was mentioned in the Heroes webisodes. It could be Sylar, and here is a good one. Here is a good one. It could just be a random surrogate because her and Gretchen ended up together. That's all.
Ooh, no, he didn't.
Oh yeah, I brought it back. But yeah.
You know what? Samuel was the daddy.
Yes. Send us your theories on who Claire's baby daddy is. Please.
Just shows up like, sup, got my kids.
At the end, it's like, yeah, what's up? Tommy? Nathan? Nah, it's not your name. I'm renaming you. Malina? It's not your name.
You're Alice.
Yeah. You're Alice. Or you're Sandra. I really wish that they had kind of renamed Malina as well, because, you know, it's a nice little throwback to having him be Nathan, and Malina kind of came out of nowhere, and I understand why they did it, but at the same time, they've had Robbie Kay be Tommy this whole time, so, you know, why wouldn't you have just renamed her, like...
They don't care about the female character,
Okay, fair enough. Ugh. Anyway, we will move on to the trailer. Not a lot happens in the trailer. All we know is that Tommy is learning more about his...
I'm gonna mute you. No, I'm just joking.
Tommy's just learning more about his past, but will it affect the future? So obviously in the next episode, he kind of goes back to his mom and tries to figure out more about his pre-2014 days. Hopefully he will get his powers back. By powers, I mean memories.
Dude.
What?
Remember, like, she says that she was a neonatal nurse.
Yeah.
And then, like, they had lived in Oda, and I was just like, oh, yeah, they kind of did give us the breadcrumbs a long time ago.
Exactly.
Sorry.
We find Joanne back at Moe's ice cream parlor looking for Emily, or at least saying hello, Emily. And obviously not the next episode, but the episode after that is called Sunday Bloody Sunday, and that's Sunday as in ice cream Sunday. So yeah, there may be a big type of thing happening.
You mean Moe's
ice cream parlor? That's what I said, right?
You mean the other place?
Oh yeah. Sorry. And finally, we have Quentin being full turncoat and pointing a gun towards Tommy. But, you know, I'm hoping that this is just another Heroes misdirect. But yeah, anyway. Next up, we have Inside the Eclipse, which they talk about, you know, looking at the characters like a year earlier, seeing how their lives were different and what kind of trajectory they were on June 13th, 2014. Ryan Guzman talks about having to go from a strong character and going back to a weak character, and he kind of didn't really like that. But, you know, he realised it had to happen. He realised where the kind of self-loathing stemmed from for his character, and Farah not liking him because of, obviously, his cowardice. Farah is given a mission by Angela. She knows that there's a possibility she will die. Hachiro compares the storyline, not Hachiro, Hero, who plays Hachiro, compares his storyline to that of Pinocchio. You know, you've got a lost and you've got he makes a construct of a quote-unquote real boy, hoping that one day she will become a quote-unquote real boy. Judith talked about liking killing for the first time, which kind of scares me about her. But in that kind of scene, you get to see everything from regret to kind of remorse, and then the thrill and excitement of killing, and vengeance, has that kind of immediate calming effect, and how she's kind of got addiction to that kind of the killing at this point. Greg talks about, abilities can make you a target, or it can make you a villain, because, you just sell your soul for 50 pieces of silver. Nostalgia is brought up when Tim is talking about the first time that Greg came on to play Parkman, and Greg saying that he likes that, he's finally kind of, well, not finally, but he's kind of getting that kind of morally grey kind of character. And he says that, throughout the first couple of seasons, Parkman was always kind of growing, but now he's kind of in that desperate situation. The end of the world is coming. He knows the end of the world is coming because of his paintings. No, I'm joking. He didn't bring that up. But he will do anything he can to kind of save his family. Masayoka, or I think it's Tim, brings up that Hiro loses his powers, but losing his power, he kind of gains a family. Tim also brings up butterflies are being stepped on, and you can kind of see the changes. And we can finally see Quentin in a different kind of light, and kind of rewatch in this kind of new light, and try and figure out whether he knew the whole time, or if it's just a butterfly change. So yeah.
I mean, unless I thought Dark Matters was canon, so I mean, I don't know what he's just trying to mind frack us or not.
Yeah, but no, because you can think about it in this way, in the fact that he met her on June 14th, and then the next kind of episode we find is him finding Noah, and he's always talking to the camera. He's never talking to himself. He's always talking to the camera. And this should just be his videos back to Erica saying, look, I finally found him. And that's how Harris found them, because he told them where they were. That's how Micah was captured, because Quentin was able to tell them, and also Quentin led them there, and that's how he was able to escape all the gunfire. So maybe it's all canon. Maybe that's been happening since the beginning. Oh, mine's just been blown.
I don't like it, Ricky. I don't like it at all. But if that is the case, that is a little brilliant.
Yes. Well, it's very brilliant. Very brilliant, because I came up
so
with
it's not going to happen.
How dare you? Anyway, and finally, we have... This isn't really to talk about, but I just thought I'd bring it up. Lilith, Hellfire on Entertainment Tonight Canada. How was it?
Oh, you're just going to throw me under the bus? Okay, no, it was awesome!
I know, right?
Shout out to Mr. O'Neill for making that happen for us. It was fun.
Definitely. So yeah, I will put a link to that in the show notes. Give it a watch. See Lilith just
gush about Hero.
I
was very diplomatic.
Very, very diplomatic, yes. Give it a watch, guys. Thank you very much.
Emails and live tweets?
We will now go on to the email. Oh, beautiful. So, we got someone from Tumblr called Charles, a.k.a. Charlie Captain Ducky. Good name. Honestly, it was the best episode. I really enjoyed this sequel series. I have been hooked since episode 1, but this episode solidified my hookedness. Also, this two-parter brought back the magic of season 1 of Heroes. Now, just do all you can to bring back Peter with his season 1 powers, and you will have an award-winning show.
Oh, honey.
It's not going to happen. Sorry to burst your bubble. Anyway, you're more likely to see Peter coming back onto Gilmore Girls.
Yes!
So, get excited about that. Next up, we have some Facebook messages. One from Justin Walker, who says, everything will be explained, just be patient. Yes, everything was explained. Everything was explained. I was patient. Anyway, wow, moving very fast. Don't like multiple man. He needs a hard death. How very dare you, Justin Walker? How very dare you? Coney McGinty will be redeemed in the end. He will be redeemed. Next up, we have Elijah Alexander, who says, upsetting about Tommy and his actual power sucks.
Literally sucks. The
yes.
light body.
Oh! Maybe that's what he meant. I like it. But if not, I have no idea, because I kind of like it. I like the fact that, he's able to kind of take powers, but not have them exactly the same. So yes. Next up, we have Caleb Beck, who says, loving it like McDonald's. He doesn't say like McDonald's. I just say that. Next up, we have from Twitter, Pingu112, who says, "It was revealing! OMFG!" That was shouty cap locks. And he finishes it off with, "Quentin is evil." Hashtag. Or, the other way around. Hashtag Quentin is evil. Yes. Next we have Two Sides, One Coin, who says, "So many butterflies. Now Quentin's alive, but is evil in the teaser. Angela's got white hair. And where does Parkman stand?" It's obvious where Parkman stands with Renautas at the moment, but he will probably turn coat and help Noah. And next up we have Daddy_Vaughan, who says, "I love that Hero raised Tommy. How cool." I also love that fact because I called it last week. Oh, thank you very much. Next up we have Barry Media, who says, I think like most people said all night, that it all makes sense and came full circle. I think June 13th Part 2 is better. What do you think? Do you think Part 2 was better, Lilith?
Okay, I think for answer wise and people who only are watching this reboot sequel show, sure it's better. But for me, the first part is better because we have more Noah and it's more tension and ratcheting it up a little bit.
Yeah, this one was
This is kind of just a fallout.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, cool. Next
but they're still both great.
Yes, I think a lot of people. I think the past 3 episodes have been kind of ramping up, and I think it's very good. And maybe it's because the original heroes are back, but I think mainly it's because it's kind of making sense of what has come before. So yeah. Next up we have Alechna1, who says, "So HRQ, so Quentin is helping Erica. Seems like the biggest butterfly. Are you saying Quentin is fat? I'm sorry, he is not. He is just festively plump." No, I kind of like that.
That little sweet pumpkin. Don't you dare.
I kind of like that. I don't like that he's evil, but I kind of am looking forward to seeing Dark Quentin because we've known him as this kind of lovable kind of character, and I kind of want to see him be a bit more badass. So hopefully that will happen in the next couple of episodes, and then him and HRG will make up, and all will be right, and they end up having a same-sex ceremony and living happily ever after in a retirement home, hand in hand. HRG.
When they showed the teaser with him with the gun, I was like, Ginger's got a gun.
Next up, we have K1GN4RT13. How much of this time travel plots are influenced by a fear of Tim Kring of whole Heroes Reborn episodes getting mooted? I think it's just going to be one of those things that you have to wait and see how much of the kind of episodes have been muted, because at the moment it seems like a lot of the kind of episodes seem null and void, but at the same time it was taking us 8 episodes to find out how Claire actually died, so patience, my Padawan. How about you? What do you think?
I think they've already answered that question, that fate is fate, and what can't be changed, but whatever else is left can be. So you just kind of have to roll with that philosophy.
Yeah, otherwise you are just going to be on a podcast going round and round in circles talking about timeline changes.
Talking about save the cheerleader. It was always save the cheerleader. Yeah. You're going to be rocking yourself in a mental institution.
Like Buffy. Next up we have One Guy, who said, "Told you about Nathan's powers. He is the new Peter." Yes, you did. Well done.
We thought he was Peter way before that.
Next up we have Rob Big Dog 8111, who says, Hashtag June 13th Part 2. Hashtag Heroes Mind Blown. Thanks. It's just so good. Thanks. Yeah, I agree. Next up we have The Nerdy Girl Exp. Says, my thoughts, Hashtag is Sylar the father. No, we've given you a list of people who the father could be.
It's Kellen Lutz, and I don't care.
I forgot about Kellen Lutz. To find out the name of Mr. Lutz.
I don't even think he did have a name.
He did have a name. I think it was Barbie, because it sounded really southern.
God.
So it could be Kellen Lutz's character from 5 Years Gone, whose name is Andy. Andy! Sorry. It's Andy.
Close, they had a Y.
Yes, exactly. Andy. Help me, Andy. But yeah. So yeah, there are lots of people who the father could be. It could be just some random, but at the same time, I don't think we're ever going to find out. So yeah, maybe brace yourself for that.
It's Lyle.
Oh no! It's Peter. It's
It's Lyle because they're not related by blood. It's not.
Yeah. And after her and HRG had that falling out, she went to go live with Lyle and Sandra, and they were sharing a room, and that's when everything happened. Slash fic, yeah.
It's not really a slash fic. It's just not fluffy. It's not a fluffy fic at all.
But yeah, imagine. At the end of Heroes Reborn, they realise that they're going to get a second season, so they add like a little end clip on at the end of the thing, like, Marvel movies, and it's just Lyle turning up and just going, "I'm my daddy," and then closes. But yeah, anyway.
Feel free to send hate mail about the Lyle comment. We understand.
Definitely. Next up, we have JR_Tita, who says, everyone says that the timeline was changed. It's the same. If HRD didn't shoot Erica, Tommy wouldn't be on the run. Well, no, he was on the run already. It has been changed. It has been changed because Erica now has a cane and Quentin is alive. And yeah, I think it has been changed. So you feel free to email back and, primatechfiles@gmail.com and email and give us more of your thoughts. But yeah, I think the timeline has been changed and we will see more of that.
Like I was going to say, maybe she's like pulling a FDR who had polio, but like the media made it seem like he didn't. But no, we've seen her at home by herself.
Yeah. And finally, we have our favorite English Idiot 101. She says, this episode was very good. It tied up so much of what happened and delivered a great twist ending. But what a way to make me suddenly hate one character I like. Charlie. How can you hate Quentin? Even as a bad guy, he is lovable. I'm sure it's because of time travel and stepping on butterflies, but I didn't want that to happen. It was good to see Matt again, even though it was only for a brief part of the episode. Everyone is coming together, and the writers have done it in a very good way. Hero and Angela with Tommy and Malina, and Carlos and Farah. I want to know what happens next since we are getting close to the end, and I want it to be a good ending for Noah and Co, not Erica. I want Erica to have a happy ending. No.
She can get dropped in a volcano, son. She can kick rocks.
Cool. Yeah, that's the end of that.
Looks like it's time for some shameless plugs and self-promotion. We'll start with the show contact info. We here at Primatech Files love listener feedback. If you would like to get a hold of us, we have a ton of ways. You can email us via primatechfiles@gmail.com. You can leave us a private message or interact with our posts over on facebook.com/primatechfiles. We live tweet 2 episodes per week every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Primatech Files. You can also find us on Clamor, Tumblr, and YouTube by simply searching for Primatech Files. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. What's that? You don't have an iTunes account? That's okay. We're on a lot of podcatcher services such as Stitcher and SoundCloud. All you have to do is search for, you guessed it, Primatech Files. We're also on Libsyn. And if you want to follow our RSS feed there, all you have to do is go to primatechfiles.libsyn.com and bookmark the site to stay up to date with this podcast. Libsyn is spelled Libsyn, just in case you were wondering. We look forward to interacting with you.
If you love our podcast, be sure to check out Southgate Media Group's iTunes provider page to see a list of what other podcasts are hot and trending in our network. Or you can take that one step further and visit southgatemediagroup.com, where you can find a full list of our 80-plus podcasts, along with weekly blogs and information about all the hosts. With so many podcasts that cover everything from anime to wrestling, there's sure to be tons of podcasts that can interest you.
Hey guys, you should know by now that you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. If you have a Tumblr, be sure to check out it's lilithhellfire.tumblr.com. And of course, be sure to swing by my blog if you are a pop culture junkie or comic book geek at littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. I also host several other podcasts on the Southgate Media Group network. Some of them are The Flashpoint, Queen Consolidated, and Channel 52. So if you are into, obviously, DC comic book related stuff, be sure to check it out.
You can find my writings at tvbinges.com. It's a place for all your binge watching needs, and you can also create your own TV binge and we'll help promote it. We do a monthly binge watch, which you're more than welcome to join in. Just go to their Twitter at tvbinges just to find out more information. You can find me on Twitter at RickyJDiaz. That's RICKYJDIAZ, or Z if you're American.
And now we are going to wrap it up. We want to thank you for joining us on our discussion of episode 108, June 13th, part 2 of Heroes Reborn. We hope you enjoyed this long, thorough, and hopefully entertaining discussion. Ricky, do the thing.
Keep the rebellion alive.